What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night Q&A Hangout. Hope you guys are doing well. Be curious to know your thoughts on the Super Bowl. We'll definitely talk about that. We'll talk about some observations I saw in the Super Bowl that maybe the Chiefs could glean from on both sides of the ball in some way, shape, or form. And then I titled this stream, I just think it's a good time to remind ourselves how blessed as Chiefs fans we've been over the years. Like, we watched a Super Bowl that was fine. I'm happy for the Seahawks. I'm happy for Sam Darnold to get his first ring. Like, I thought that it was really cool for them. But the Patriots were just able to take advantage of like a very weird AFC. And I think Patriots fans are kind of in the same boat as the Kansas City Chiefs. We have seen our teams win a lot of Super Bowls, been in a lot of big games. And I'm not saying that the Chiefs dynasty is over or anything like that, because I actually don't believe that to be true. But when the Chiefs go 6-11, Mahomes tears his ACL, they miss the playoffs, and we have to watch all these other teams play, I'm filled with gratitude, I think, just with how competitive, how insane the Chiefs run has been year in and year out. Obviously, aside from this year. But when the Chiefs just keep doing it every single year, you're in the midst of it. I don't know if we all truly, including myself, step back and appreciate just the greatness of the Kansas City Chiefs. AFC Championship was the floor every single year in the Mahomes era. Overtime, by the way, in the AFC Championship was the floor in the Patrick Mahomes era. Since 2018, aside from this year, 5 Super Bowl appearances, winning 3. Insane. It's just, I remember going my entire life. I was born in 91. Just thinking, hoping, wondering if the Chiefs could ever make it to a Super Bowl in my lifetime. They got very close in 2018. You lose to the Patriots, but then you end up going the next year and you win. Super Bowl 54 against a really, really good 49ers team. And that was like the greatest thing ever for me. I could not believe it. Now, if you would have said, hey, don't worry, they're going to be back 4 more times and they're going to win 2 more out of them, and they might not even be done yet, all before Mahomes is 30, or by 30, by the way, and then after 30, we'll see. Maybe they make a couple more. Maybe he wins another one. There's just a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be grateful for. This is the stuff that we are going to tell future generations about. Back in my day, you remember Patrick Mahomes, you remember Travis Kelce? 2 of the best to ever play the game at their position were together on the same team, on the same offense, racking up stats, rings, MVPs, all of it. I'm gonna be telling my kids that, which is insane. So anyway, I'm not gonna rant about it or for too long, but it's just, we can always look at how bad last season went and be down in the dumps about it, be in the gutter about it. It's over. I don't really know what's next for the Chiefs. They have a very important offseason, for sure. I don't think they're done, but you still have to just realize what we saw. We saw greatness unfold in real time before our very eyes. The NFL hates dynasties. They do not want repeat success. They want money. They want that for sure, but the NFL is not set up for teams to succeed every year. And yet the Chiefs did that for quite a while. And they should be back for sure, right? But I'm just very grateful, man. Let's just say this. If they never make it back again in my lifetime, the Chiefs have done more in this era, the Patrick Mahomes era so far, than how many other franchises have ever done in history. It's got to be a lot. It might not be half, but it's got to be close. So the hope is they make it back. The hope is they keep stacking rings. But every single time a team goes to the Super Bowl, and we can shift to the Super Bowl and would love to get your thoughts about it. But every time a team gets to the Super Bowl and they lose, what do they say? What is their response? We'll be back. Yeah, George Kittle said that after Super Bowl 54, and they did come back and they lost again. I'm sure Dan Marino thought he'd be back to win. Nope. Didn't happen. How many teams has that happened to? It's very hard to get back. So Patriots fans, they're used to it because of Tom Brady and all that played out with that era of football. They're saying, well, we'll be back. We don't really know. I'm not sure the Patriots are going to be back next year. Do you guys? I don't think so. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to be back. You're not worried about it? We're still great? Oh, heck yeah. I mean, Travis, to go to current Chiefs, it's just, I don't want it to seem like, oh, it's all done, it's all over. Well, no. All the core pieces are still there. I think Travis Kelce's returning. Mahomes, I don't know how this season is going to actually go. It just kind of depends on Mahomes' recovery timeline to me. But I will say this. The Super Bowl showed you how much you need a competent running back. I don't know what else to say. How many times was Kenneth Walker able to make somebody miss when there was nothing there? And he created yards after getting the ball from thin air. There were so many times like, oh, he's tackled, that's 2 yards. Nope. Turns it into 10. Turns it into 15. Turns it into 7 when he should have lost 3. Turns it into 29. Then 30. Those were almost back-to-back plays on the same drive. He got Super Bowl MVP. The amount of times that I see comments of saying the O-line of the Chiefs is the real problem. It wasn't the running back room. How many times did Kenneth Walker have nowhere to go? And yet he made yards. He made it happen. He juked guys out of their souls. He broke a tackle. He did something when he had the football in his hands. No, the Chiefs O-line wasn't perfect. Never claimed that to be the case. But they massively need a playmaker in the running back room, and the Super Bowl just proved it. Yeah, you've got to be able to do more than just run the football. But Sam Darnold just played clean. He just played a clean game. Just don't turn the ball over. The defense is good. Great. Excellent. Elite. They'll do it. But lean on the run game and then take your shots when you can down the field. That was one of my biggest takeaways just watching the Seahawks offense move. Look how easy, or not even easy, just look how much it helped Sam Darnold. An offense that leans heavily on the ground game and utilizes play action off of it. Yeah, they have JSN. They got Cooper Kupp. They have good players. But hopefully the Chiefs watch that and they're like, okay, take some notes. Andy's not going to revamp his scheme. I'm not saying that. But they should upgrade the running back room, and hopefully the better position coaches will draw more out of the players that are there. And I don't know if Kenneth Walker is even going to hit free agency. He was one of the few guys that I'm like, hey, the Chiefs could maybe pursue one of them if they want to. So it would be Breece Hall, ETN, Kenneth Walker. If the Chiefs want to spend a little bit of money in free agency on a running back, they can. Cole, they don't have any money. Well, they'll get money. They'll release some players. They'll restructure Mahomes' contract. You can do some others. Creed. You can with Chris Jones. I'm not sure you want to do that. Trey Smith, you can. There's options. There's ways to free up money, for sure. But hopefully these position coaches can get the most of whoever they bring in. And I'm kind of bracing myself for the Chiefs not to make like a huge swing in free agency for a running back. That's fine. But just, you've got to upgrade the floor by multiple floors. Like, you've got to get it from the basement to at least the second level or something. You've got to do that. McDonald had a Spags performance with needed pieces. Yeah, and that's the other aspect of it too, is just how excellent the defense was. I mean, how many times did we see Witherspoon perfectly, and it was a perfectly executed play, called play by McDonald. But yeah, Solo, thanks so much for the 2-bomb. That's the defensive side of the ball too. It's just like, the most important probably is the front four. I mean, the front four is just, they were having a day. They were having their way. I remember the broadcast saying, oh, they're only rushing 4. And then they got home to Drake May anyway. 6 sacks, a forced fumble, 2 picks, 1 for a touchdown. I don't know that I don't know that the Chiefs can get their defense to that level in one offseason with the needs that they have, but I do think upgrading the D-line and just being able to land some sort of a game-changing pass rusher and maybe Omar Norman-Lott coming back from the ACL, I don't have high expectations for him to just massively ball out next year coming off the ACL. It's really hard for a lot of positions to be able to do that. I think Mahomes could kind of get away with it. Like quarterbacks can get away with it a little bit more. But hopefully you can upgrade and get some pressure after the quarterback. On these key downs, if you're only rushing 4, can you get home? Or when you do blitz, sheesh, what excellent timed blitzes. And I was watching some film breakdowns of the Super Bowl, and Mike McDonald in that defense, man, they knew if the Patriots were in like 3 on one side, like 3 receivers on one side, so it was like 3-by-2 or 3-by-1, just depending on the formation and what the personnel was. They knew, oh yeah, on this third down, if you've got 3 over there, the middle guy is probably not running a dig. So that middle of the field right there, the intermediate, like they don't need to cover it. So they were blitzing guys from that side. That's just Mike McDonald being him, being a very elite defensive play caller. But then, yeah, you've got guys like flying around all over the place. How many draft picks did they hit? And just, you look at their defensive roster, there's so many guys all over the place. The Patriots were never winning that game. We knew that. I thought the Seahawks would win by 9. They won by more. But I knew it'd be by more than one score. Yo, what's up, Endless? That's just kind of where I'm at with it. As far as like, other than that, with the D-line for the Chiefs, they're talking about maybe trying to get Trent McDuffie extended, which definitely fine with it. But how many plays do we see some of the cornerbacks make? Like, I know the Patriots lost, but look at Christian Gonzalez. That guy was everywhere. He saved 2 touchdowns, probably. Christian Gonzalez single-handedly prevented the score from being like 45-13 because Darnold threw I think it was like a bomb to Rashid Shaheed that Gonzalez broke up, and then he broke up the touchdown pass to JSN. It was going to be a touchdown. It was going to be a touchdown. What are you talking about? Heck? What are you talking about, man? Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. I would love to know your takeaways from the Super Bowl and even just the Chiefs, what you think could be done next, what you think of how the success that they have had, and just kind of go from there. What are your thoughts on franchise tagging Jalen Watson and trading him for picks? And it's going to tie up, when you franchise tag somebody, it ties up the money instantly. So, franchise tag for cornerbacks 2026. $21.4 million, somewhere around there. I don't think the Chiefs can do it. I guess I wouldn't put it past them. If you look at pending free agents, they can franchise tag one of them. Brian Cook, Jalen Watson. I mean, those might be really the only, like, who else would you do that to? Yeah, I guess I can't rule it out, man, but the fact that it would instantly take up like $20 million on the cap would be tough. Cole's go find a running back. I'll take a high schooler at this point. All right, sounds good, Johnny. Cole, what's your favorite player for the Chiefs to get out of free agency? Yeah, we've talked about some running backs. Breece Hall, ETN, Kenneth Walker would be absolutely fantastic. It just kind of depends on the position group. There's some guys that I'm interested in for sure. D-line is tough. Boye Mafe, I guess, could be an option on the line. You're praying to the football gods to finally give the Chiefs an easy game to start out with. Yeah, we'll see about that. You'd like to get Hall in free agency and then draft a D-line position in the first round. Yeah, very well could be D-line pick 9, depending on who's there. Cole, after seeing K9, do you take Love or Tate at pick 9? Ooh. My answer is kind of the same every time I get asked this. I don't know. I need to see what they do in free agency first But without knowing what they're going to do in free agency, if Tate was there, I would be tempted to take him. That's only if the Chiefs addressed running back in free agency. If they didn't, yeah, you go Love. Get a young running back on a rookie deal. Again, that's like if Reuben Bain Jr., David Bailey, maybe an interior guy that the Chiefs could be high on, a true round 1 grade, aren't available at 9. I don't think Tate is going to be there at 9. They're talking about Carnell Tate. I don't know if he's actually going to be there, but man, his tape is really fun. That guy can go up and get it. Bigger bodied guy, still speedy, but contested catches, that's his bread and butter. And that Mahomes needs somebody he can just like throw a football up to and they'll catch it. They'll like go up and get it and haul it in. What's up, Colton? Thanks so much for the 2. If Cole was GM for the Chiefs, what is he doing? Well, probably getting fired is like the very short answer. I'd probably already be fired by now. But this offseason, I mean, for sure, you're upgrading the running back room. I would probably try to go more aggressive in the running back room in free agency and address some of the more expensive positions early in the draft, wide receiver, defensive end, because of how much they're going to cost in free agency. George Pickens in free agency is going to be how much if they let him go? The Cowboys, $30 million a year? The Chiefs aren't paying that. There's no way. You could get a running back for 8, 9, 10 million APY, and then you address some of the other positions early in the draft. You also have to decide what you're doing at right tackle because you're letting Jawan Taylor go to save $20 million, right? Kelsey's probably coming back. So the tight end room's probably in a good spot for one more year. Is Jalen Moore just your right tackle? I guess he could be. On defense, you've got to get interior, defensive interior, and edge in some way, shape, or form because Mike Dana's probably gone. Amenahu's probably gone. Omar Norman-Lott's coming back, but he's off the ACL. Tillery, probably gone. I don't know about Mike Pennell. He's mid-30s by this point. Derek Nottie, probably gone. So you've got to address it, but you have to be a little creative in your spend unless you're willing to be a little bit more aggressive, push money down the road, or Clark Hunt spends a little bit more cash, upfront cash money. I think if I'm GM, I'm letting Drew Tranquil go and I'm bringing back Leo Chanel and Jeffrey Bossa is taking over Drew Tranquil's spot. It's not because Drew Tranquil's bad. I feel like he had a good year, but you can save $6 million to move on from Drew Tranquil. You bring Leo Chanel back. He's got a very unique fit in the Chiefs defense. Meanwhile, Jeffrey Bossa is a converted safety like Leo Chanel. I think I'm probably letting Jalen Watson walk. But that's if you can get McDuffie on a pretty decent deal. If he wants 31 million APY, 30.5 million APY, I have no idea how you pay that. And maybe you also just let Jalen Watson walk and don't extend McDuffie. You don't have to extend McDuffie. He's on his 5th-year option. The earlier the better, and that's what the Chiefs are wanting to do. But you don't have to do that. Brian Cook, if I had to choose between paying somebody, like paying Jalen Watson or Brian Cook, I'm probably just saying keep McDuffie, even if you can't get an extension. And I'll flip back to the McDuffie conversation in a second because I'll probably sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. But you either just keep McDuffie on the 5th year, let Jalen Watson walk, and then pay Brian Cook. Because what are you doing if Brian Cook walks? He literally is the play caller hand in hand with Nick Bolton organizing the secondary. And sometimes telling Nick Bolton stuff that he sees because he's further behind. Chamari Connor, Jaden Hicks, are they going to do that? I don't know. So I would be a little bit more nervous about the secondary if Brian Cook isn't brought back. Now, they could have their eye on somebody else that they could be bringing in on a multi-year deal, and that there's an option there. The flip side is you trade Trent McDuffie for picks if you can get a good enough haul, if he won't budge and he wants 30 million APY. If you do that, you have to bring Jalen Watson back in my eyes. I'm just throwing out a bunch of hypotheticals. I think McDuffie probably stays. Jalen Watson goes to the highest bidder in free agency, and I'm very happy for him, very proud of him. He's a 7th-round pick that balled out for this team and helped them stack up some rings. So that's a few of them. But then also, James Winchester, he's a free agent. There's your long snapper. What are you doing about him? If I'm also Brett Veach, I'm bringing in a kicker. Not necessarily to start over Butker, but to have a competition in the summer. If anything, just to light a little bit of competitive fuel under the fire. To light a little bit of a fire under Butker. And that's not because he's not working hard. I'm not saying anything like that. But he struggled last year. And I understand that he had knee surgery the year prior and he adjusted his kicking style again. But you're paid to make field goals and extra points or you can't play. He did better in the second half of the year. But another thing I would do is try to figure out where they were going wrong on special teams and how to be better. Because that was a huge problem as well. If Butker was making field goals, special teams was drawing flags every other play, every other kickoff in some of these games on returns. 10-yard penalty, 15-yard penalty. It's like ridiculous. The Chiefs had like the worst starting field position in the NFL on offense because special teams was awful. It was just awful. So that's something too. About time with the 31 months. Let's freaking go. Anniversary time. Give you some sugar bald med. Sugar bald med. What? What are you talking about? About time. Are you all right over there? You all right over there? You think Wanya Morris could be a good starting right tackle before cutting Juwan Taylor and Jalen Moore would free up $36 million? I don't know what getting rid of Jalen Moore would do cap hit wise. I can look it up. Juwan Taylor for sure 20. Jalen Moore signed a 2-year $30 million deal, but I think his dead cap is $10 million. His cap hit is 18. Base salary is 14. I mean, you could free up quite a bit of space, but you need depth, man. They can't get, in my opinion, they can't get rid of Juwan Taylor and Jalen Moore. I know it saves money, but we just watched the Chiefs go through like 6 tackles in 2025. Josh Simmons, even when he came back, he broke his wrist or dislocated his wrist. I can't remember. Needed surgery. IR. Wanya Morris was on IR. Like, we can't forget that either. So your question was saying, hey, is Wanya Morris good enough to be the right tackle? Is he going to be healthy? What's going on with him? He like hyperextended his knee super bad. Did he tear his ACL? What was his injury? It might have been an ACL. He had surgery last week to repair a... Wait. Let me see if I can find it. He was later seen leaving the locker room on crutches. Do we know what his injury was? It looked bad. All that to say, no, I don't think you can get rid of Jalen Moore. I just don't. You have Esa Pole. You'll have Josh Simmons back. But I think you need depth. Because if these guys get injured, look at these deep playoff runs and what these teams are unable to do if they can't protect their quarterback. It's ridiculous. It's not really their fault, but when you're in the playoffs, you're going against really, for the most part, some monster defenses. Look at the Patriots. Was it the Patriots playoff run? Look at the defenses they played. Now, Drake May had one of the worst or the worst quarterback performance from a total EPA standpoint over the last 26 years. And some of that's just on him. Some of it's on the O-line. Several more could be on him and just lack of inexperience too, right? But they were also playing some dogs. The Chargers defense with Jesse Minter, pretty good. The Texans defense, very good. The Broncos defense, very good. The Seahawks defense, all 3 of those defenses are top 5. You could maybe argue top 3. And they played 3 of them in a row. All that to say, when you're going in and making the playoffs, all these deep runs, you need depth in the trenches bad. You need it bad. Solo with the 2. Again, a running back on rookie contract is less than a wide receiver on a rookie contract. Yeah, but if you pick somebody at... I would have to look it up because I just don't know. How much does positional value weigh in on a rookie selection? Meaning, if you picked a running back at pick 9, I just don't even, I would have to look it up. Does that running back contract at pick 9, like how much cheaper would it be than a wide receiver contract at pick 9? Is there some like formula that's weighted for some of that? Or is it just no? It's just wherever you're at in the draft is just how it is. I'm looking up to track. I don't think they do, but I'm not 100% sure. Do draft picks get paid more based on position? In the NFL, draft picks do not get paid more based on their position, based on where they're drafted. So and if you're just saying, hey, it's cheaper to have a rookie running back than it is, what would you be saying? I mean, the most cost-effective way to me is you get a wide receiver or defensive end early on a rookie contract. You handle running back in free agency just because of how much cheaper they are on the open market. Percy Franco in the house with the ARS 100. Only a miracle could have made the Patriots win that game. I enjoyed the chat more. Happy the streams didn't end after the Super Bowl. Next year, Super Bowl halftime, AC/DC or Tay-Tay. Chiefs on 3. 1, 2, 3, Chiefs. Dude, that would be crazy. AC/DC or Metallica. Like, I grew up listening to that with my dad. Taylor Swift would be insane. I know we brought up halftime and people might already start freaking out in the comments. I do not care. If you watched it, if you didn't, it seems like a lot of people watched it when you look at the numbers. It was pretty wild that it was the first, I think it was the first time ever, like no part of a Super Bowl halftime show was in English, which I was like, that's actually insane. The NFL is pretty smart because they knew Americans would tune in regardless. Meanwhile, that had a huge international appeal, and that's what the NFL wants. They want to keep expanding the international brand. They're eventually going to go to 16 international games every single year. They're going from 7 to 9 in 2026. You can hate the halftime show and all the stuff. That's your prerogative, and that's fine. I didn't really watch it. I was streaming during it and going over the halftime show, or the halftime stats rather, with you guys. But I know that's a really hot button topic. If you liked it, cool. If you didn't like it, that's fine. But Taylor Swift halftime show, that would be nuts. That would be nuts. Proctologist in the house with the 3 months. Can't have a weak bench on the O-line again. That hurt us this season. Yeah, I think the tackle depth for the most part was in a good spot until you lost like 5 of them, which if any team loses, let's see, they lost Josh Simmons, Jawan Taylor was out, Wanye Morris, and then Jalen Moore got banged up, I think, at 1.2. That's 4. Any team that loses 4 tackles is probably hosed. Now, also, Trey Smith was banged up, and then that is where I think you've got to upgrade the interior O-line a little bit. Or maybe that's Hunter Norzad. I'm trying to think who else they tried out. It was just Mike Caliendo was the next man up. Hunter Norzad's got like center guard flex. But you might just need to go get another one, because I do think Mike Caliendo struggles and is the definite weak link, and then you were dealing with banged up tackles as well. Jennifer with the 5 gifted, and Brenda with the 5 gifted. We got the back-to-back 5 gifted. Let's go. You like that? I see some people like the halftime show, some didn't. Yeah. I'm a videographer by trade, so I thought some of the cinematography was kind of dope. Like, they had like a really cool dolly shot and just some other stuff that I was like, dude, that's pretty hard to pull off live. I mean, I don't watch a lot of live shows either, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I went back and watched the halftime show or anything, because I didn't, but just live what I glanced at and saw, like the dolly shot was cool. There was some cool like cinematography aspects. Now, you know what I did laugh at? The halftime show did not care about the people in the stands. Like, people were filming from their phones and showing like what they saw, and you couldn't even see the guy like in the, I don't know what you call it, the bushes, the jungle. You couldn't even see him walking around in there. I was kind of laughing. Now, obviously, when you've got like dozens and dozens and dozens of millions of people watching and like 60,000 in the stands, yeah, you're going to cater to those watching. But some of the clips from people in the stands being like, this is what our view was of the halftime show, I was definitely laughing about that. Do I do divorces? No. FLDB, how are you doing, bro? Oh, sugarcane field? Is that what it was? Okay. I had no idea. FLDB in the house. Yeah, he had a fever on Sunday helping me with the stream, and then his fever went all the way up to 103. Yeah, my daughters were like... my daughters watched some of the halftime show. They're like, why does he keep grabbing his crotch? Oh, that was a funny question. You wish you were one of the Bushes? All right. All right. Well, we'll move on past that. But yeah, I just think looking at the game, the Seahawks were bound to win. And here's another thing to think about. Sam Darnold's on like a pretty like QB friendly deal. Sam Darnold contract. He signed a 3-year, $100 million deal. His cap hit in 2025 was $13 million. Are you serious? $13 million? Even next year, this year, I guess, $37 million, and you could probably move some of that or convert some of that and lower it more. Like $37 million. That's been like the lowest cap hit for Patrick Mahomes in like the last like 5 years. It's higher, but then they convert some into a bonus and it gives you some cap alleviation, some cap breathing space, right? It frees up some cap space. But Mahomes' contract is still really good. So I'm not going to sit here and say Mahomes has a bad contract because he deserves to be paid a lot of money. But it does get harder when you pay your quarterback a lot of money. When you have Chris Jones making $30 million a year, whatever it is. When you have $50+ million a year and maybe even more, $60 million, I don't know what it is, invested in your O-line. You just have to be more creative. It's not as easy as Bo Nix, Drake May, CJ Stroud, Jackson Dart, any team that's got a quarterback on their rookie deal still. It becomes more complex, especially because, again, the Chiefs do not like to push money down the road. They don't like the Eagles' approach. They're almost the exact opposite of how the Eagles like to operate, but the Eagles are operating under the assumption that the cap is just going to keep going up, and it is. But I think at some point in time, you're going to have to pay the piper for continuing to do that. But for now, I mean, they've made 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. They didn't make it this year, 2025, but that is one way to go about it. King Zach in the house with the 5 months. Our Chiefs will be back. Seeing the logo? Let me see. Super Bowl 61 logo. Super Bowl 61 logo. Let's look at it. When did they actually reveal the logo? Because like everybody was talking about it. Maybe they revealed it during Super Bowl 60, maybe? I mean, here it is. It's like orange and greenish. It could be... Yeah, Jags, Bears. I saw this. Eagles, Broncos, please no. Chiefs, Eagles, round 3. People would be furious. Dolphins and somebody. This is if you're following the color conspiracy. That the colors of the Super Bowl logo represents the next teams that are going to be playing in it. Sin McBride in the house with the tin bomb. Hey, thank you. Hey, Cole, check the SIG pick. It's a signed Andre Rison jersey I won last year. Finally got it framed up and on the wall. P.S. I thought maybe to recommend some gold bond powder or something. But I like the Super Bowl. Gold bond powder? What's that? Relieve itching, pain, and skin irritation? Who's it for? Me? Let me know what that's for. But that is an awesome... Who got you that jersey? Did you get it from a giveaway here? Did you get it from a giveaway here? Either way, nice Spider-Man jersey. Let's go. So you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. There's some red and gold in there. You could do Chiefs again. It was during the post-game. Cole, that's why we're always broke. Yeah. I mean, you have to creatively spend. There's no way around it. You see that the famous Manchester United fan couldn't get his haircut because United didn't win their 5th game in a row? Huh? I don't know what that means. Oh, gold bond powder for because he kept grabbing his crotch. Yeah, my daughters asked my wife, their mom. I almost said my mom. Their wife. No. What? My wife, their mom. Okay, there we go. We're a normal family, promise. Just nothing crazy going on over here, okay? Their mom... my wife, I said their wife, that's crazy. They were like, why does he keep doing that? Okay, that makes sense. He needs some gold bond powder. I didn't see the performance, so I don't really know. I didn't see much of it. Colton with the 2. If we ignore running back, free agency, and Miss Love in the draft too, I don't think you could do both. I think you've got to address running back and free agency. Now, they might address running back and free agency, quote unquote, not enough for fans' liking and still pass on Love at 9 because they want to get D-line and invest in the trenches, right? But I will think they'll address it in free agency, but will it be to the satisfaction of what Chiefs fans want? I mean, maybe not. Sometimes no matter what moves the Chiefs make, there's some Chiefs fans that are just never going to be happy. I think they live to be miserable for the rest of their lives. But yeah. You have to address it. I'm trying to think. Kenneth Gainwell is even an option. Rico Dowdle. There's some options out there that could be more creative from a cost-effective standpoint, but still raise the floor compared to what the Chiefs had in the running back room last year. Other fans can't whine as much since we didn't even make the playoffs this season. Yeah, man. I mean, last year was pretty tough. There's no way to go about it. I know I started this video saying, hey, like we have a lot to be grateful for as Chiefs fans, but I think I just wanted to talk about that for a minute because of how hard it is to keep a high level of success and to sustain that year in and year out. But yeah, it was a rather disappointing year for the Chiefs, and I feel like we've talked about it so much that sometimes it's nice just to step back, look at the bigger picture, and be like, well, again, don't know. I can't speak on the future because I don't know. And they need to fix some things. We have a right to complain. We have a right to hope that they fix it and maybe even be semi-skeptical about some of the moves that they make. But I still think there's something nice or refreshing to just to look back at all the success that the Chiefs have had, and they could still keep having it. But all the success we're talking about is not years and years and years ago. But they're in the midst of a dynasty right now. At least we didn't get blown out in the Super Bowl this year. True, yeah, it was just last year instead. Last year instead. Ravens, Seahawks. Could be. We're talking about the Super Bowl logo colors. Broncos and Bills are the biggest whiners after watching the Super Bowl. I did see a lot of Bills fans being like, man, I really wish we were there because we would have had a chance. Broncos fans saying that too. But woulda, shoulda, coulda, man. And for Broncos fans, it sucks because Bo Nix broke his foot. A bone in his foot. What are you supposed to do about that? You know, that's a really tough one. A lot of Chiefs fans still stuck in the pre-Mahomes era. Lots of PTSD. Yeah, and I think it's like a mix. Because I see more like older Chiefs fans, they're the ones saying like, hey, you don't know how bad it used to be. So we're grateful for everything. And they're the ones on average, I would say, that are a little less hesitant to criticize Veach or Andy Reid or anything like that. Whereas younger fans, all they've known is success. They want to see that keep going, keep rolling every single year. And they're like, hey, there's warning signs. Please fix this. No run game. This, that. Like, what are you doing? Mahomes is carrying the team. Get him some help. Get him some running back help. Get him another receiver. Like, what are we doing? Because that's all they've known. I think there's just a healthy balance. Sure, it could always be worse, but you can still also be like, okay, Andy, got to step up the play calling. You've got to adjust the scheme. Brett Veach, he's not perfect, but like he has not really hit on D-line in the draft. So it's like, okay, you got to hit on D-line. He hit on George Karlaftis, right? But who else? FAU? I don't think so. Ashton Gelati to be determined, too early. Omar Norman-Lott, too early. But outside of that, like, who? Not a lot of people. Colin Saunders, I think you could say. But yeah, I mean, these guys got to hit. The coaching staff's got to get more out of their players. Andy Reid's got to adjust a little bit. And that's why, like, Andy, and that offensive staff there's been a lot of turnover. We don't know who their new running backs coach is going to be yet, but they've already upgraded wide receivers coach. EB is back. They requested the running backs coach, Deland McCullough of the Raiders. He was formerly of the Chiefs from 2018 to 2020. There's a lot more experience already in there. I think Chiefs have made important changes at the right coaching spots. Oh, yeah, it's exactly what I was saying, Vertical. Our young playmakers were let down the past 2 years. Yeah, and hopefully that helps get more, 10, 15% more out of the players. Andy Reid adjusts his scheme 10 to 15%, and then you upgrade a couple key position groups 10 to 15%. And I think some of those one-score losses, that a lot of the one-score losses that the Chiefs had, maybe it flips back in their favor in 2026. It's not getting any easier. The AFC West isn't getting easier. Clint Kubiak, coach of the Raiders, Fernando Mendoza, he'll be their quarterback. I don't know what to expect of the Raiders for like a couple of years, but did you see the Chargers are favored to win the West? They've got $100 million in cap space. They got their tackles coming back. They now have Mike McDaniel as their OC. You did lose Jesse Minter. And then there's always the X factor to me for Chargers injuries. Why are these guys injured? Why are they so injured every single year? What is going on over there? Do they need some milk? Like, what is going on? I just feel I'm not laughing about the injuries, but it's like every single year, it's like, oh yeah, the Chargers are going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to be this or that. And then like everybody gets injured. And it happens every year. I don't get it. Colton, thanks again for the 2-bomb, man. Cindy, thanks again for the 10-bomb, and the Andre Rison jersey is awesome. We got Judy with the 18 months. Let's go. Cole, did you see the interview EB did with Matt and Mitch? He kept stressing getting the right people. I think we're going to see a lot of O-line skilled position focus in the coming months. I did hear the interview, but I don't recall the repeat on that. I can't remember everything that was said, but I did watch it. They normally do a great job, Mitch and Matt. But I know that was EB's first day there. Yeah, he wants to get the right people in the room from a coaching staff perspective, and then, yeah, right players for sure, and then build on the strengths of those players, which is another aspect of it for sure. Every day, John in the house with the 38 months. Holy smokes. I watched highlights back-to-back over the last 4 years, and you can see the downward progression of the wide receiver room. And over the last, few years, Connor Embry's been the wide receivers coach. EB's been gone, but Tyreek Hill's been traded. I think we always look at the 2022 season, and that's just like almost exclusively like, see, that was all EB. He's gone. Look what happened. Well, it was also the first year without Tyreek Hill, and I don't think opposing defenses knew what to prepare for. They didn't know what to expect. And Andy Reid was up on the front edge of that with the adjustments, with the tweaks. And that offense, that's when Mahomes threw for 5,200 yards. Jerick McKinnon had a great year. Juju had a great year. Prime Kelsey. And then he won MVP. Now, did EB have an impact of that? Sure, of course. But that was also the first year without Tyreek. EB then goes, and then defenses are like, okay, you don't got Tyreek? We kind of see what you're doing now. But it's all a game of cat and mouse. Defenses adjust. Offenses will struggle, and then the offenses adjust, the defenses will struggle, and it's like cyclical. Every few years, you're going to see little changes, and you're going to see that stuff happen. EB's going to make everyone do their job. Sounds good. If you can dial back the penalties. You can dial back the number of drop passes, dial back or dial up, rather, the percentage of just players making plays. Sounds good to me. It's not going to do any good to complain about the moves that the Chiefs have made right now because they've made the moves. So we just have to like try to look at what they're doing, look at the vision. Chad O'Shea, 2 decades of wide receiver coaching experience. EB, 2 decades or more of running backs coaching experience, plus former NFL running back. And they're going to bring in more or less, or more likely, a more experienced running backs coach this year than they had last year in Todd Pinkston, who only coached running backs for a couple of years and was a former wide receiver. So I'm seeing the vision, and I'm going to give Andy Reid the benefit of the doubt. I think he's earned it. Dub Freak with the 10 bomb. Let's go, man. I think realistically, this mini rebuild retool is going to take 2 years. I don't want to sound like a downer. No, you're good. But I feel like we just have too many holes to fill with little cap room and not many picks. Well, every year is important, especially when you've got Travis Kelce coming back most likely for 1 more year. Chris Jones, he's only got a couple left. And then you've got Mahomes still in his prime. So hopefully the rebuild retool isn't going to take 2 years. And I guess here's a question for you, Dub Freak. When you say it's going to take 2 years, what does that mean? Are you saying, hey, this is going to be another, like, Chiefs are probably finishing around 500, not making the playoffs kind of a thing, and then they'll take 1 more offseason to properly adjust and bounce back and be more of a threat in 2027? Or when you say that, what do you mean by that is a question. Cole, FYI, I watch all your videos, but it doesn't always show because you have 2 YouTube channels. Darrell in the house with the 5 bomb. You got to sub on both of them. You just got to sub, turn notifications on both. I'm just playing. No, I appreciate you, Darrell. I know you're one of the day one A1 supporters. You're always around. I appreciate you. Cole, how are we not thanked? Did we not thank Daniel Carlson for making a 60-yarder to give the Chiefs the 9th overall pick? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, he kind of balled out in that game, didn't he? Didn't he make a few big field goals? I can't remember, but it did help. Bionica in the house with the 3 months, 3 years. No, yeah, 3 years, 36 months, 3 years. I can count, I promise. What's up, Cole? Been a while. Excited to see changes coming. Let's freaking go. Heck yeah, Bionica, hope you and the family are doing well. Thanks for the 3 years. Veach will bring in a wide receiver on the tail end of their career. Hashtag typical. Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans. Who's he bringing in? Now, here's something to play devil's advocate with that. Most wide receivers that hit free agency, they're either going to be older or not great, or once great and now old. Because most of your top wide receivers in the NFL, they're not hitting the open market, right? Like George Pickens is, potentially. But he's going to get so much money. It's going to be ridiculous how much money he's going to get. Because a wide receiver of George Pickens' level doesn't hit the open market a lot. Now, Brandon Ayuk is available technically, will be available most likely once they let him go. But do you really want Brandon Ayuk? He quit on his team after he got paid. And they're a good team. They made the playoffs. I want no offense. I just want nothing to do with Brandon Ayuk. I like George Pickens more, but the Chiefs aren't paying that much. And then you've got to look at age. Keenan Allen, 33. DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Lockett, Mike Evans. I do like Mike Evans. Gosh, MVS is 31. He's not coming back. But I'm just saying, like, when they hit free agency, you're getting like your role player guy. You're either overpaying top of market money or you're getting an older guy. That's part of the issue. Retool, no rebuild. Yeah, did Dub Freak answer? Where's he at? Did he answer in chat? Because I'm just curious what he would say to that as a follow-up. You're feeling pretty positive about the direction so far, cautiously so. I like that. proctologist. I like cautious optimism. I do like that. Because it was a pretty bad year in 2025, right? So it's like, okay, we haven't even seen free agency or the draft yet. The combine's in a couple of weeks, and we'll start to get some rumors. And here's something to think about. And I'll probably talk about it in tomorrow's video. And maybe I did talk about it on Monday a little bit. But if you have a player, I think I talked about it a little bit. But if you're a pending free agent, you can sign a long-term deal with your team before the start of free agency. So any free agent with the Kansas City Chiefs can do that. Brian Cook, Jalen Watson, Leo Chanel. Like, just go down the list. Anybody that's a pending free agent that signed or that played with the Kansas City Chiefs in 2025, they can re-sign with the team before the start of free agency frenzy. Night Hunter with the 41 months. Let's go. EB is here, yo. Crack that whip. Devo reference. Let's freaking go. How about those Chiefs? Night Hunter, thanks for the 41 months, man. That's insane. Some of these months are getting way up there. We've been doing this for a minute now, guys. Yeah, EB is not going to play around. He's gonna get that thing moving for sure. He's going to keep everybody in line. Dub Freak. Okay, with the 20 bomb now. Dude, let's go, man. Okay, so this is his follow-up to saying, I think realistically this mini rebuild retool is going to take 2 years. I don't want to sound like a downer, but I feel like we just have too many holes to fill with little cap room and not many picks. All right, this is what he says. Depending on 15's health, it'll be a big factor for where we finish next year. I'm just fed up of the one-year contract wonders. We need youth on the D-line, secondary, running back. We keep making temp fixes rather than long-term plan. And part of it too, man, the 2022 draft class are all free agents now, pending free agents. That's who they were able to really help keep the dynastic run going at a very high level after the Tyreek Hill trade. Now, you're keeping around McDuffie for now, right? He's on his 5th-year option. You've already extended George Karlaftis, but Isaiah Pacheco, Sky Moore, he's gone. Leo Chanel, Brian Cook, Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, Najee Johnson. I might be missing somebody else, but those are a lot. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that you had on cheap rookie contracts. And yeah, you don't have a ton of draft picks, which is kind of why some people are like, hey, bring back Jalen Watson, trade McDuffie, get a couple picks, and then even trade down in round 1 from pick 9. If you don't have the guy that you want, trade back a handful of picks, let somebody else move up, and just throw a bunch of darts at the dartboard. Now, I think a lot of Chiefs fans would be really upset if the Chiefs didn't pick at 9 because, hey, they haven't had a top 10 pick since Eric Fisher or Mahomes, but they had to trade up from Mahomes. Eric Fisher was 2013. Yeah, Andy Reid's first year there. They had the first overall pick. So that's why a lot of Chiefs fans are like, no, do not trade back. Get the best player available right there, maybe even regardless of position, which is why it's like, well, Caleb Downs, Reuben Bain, Carnell Tate, Jordan Love. Who's there? Who's available? Who could you instantly use to make your team a lot better at 9? But yeah, 15's health, Mahomes' health, Dub Freak, is a big piece of this. If he's ready week 1, that's great. But there's also a possibility he's not ready till mid-October. That's like week 6, which is why you need a solid quarterback too. Maybe more so than Minshew, even though I could see them bringing him back. I don't know. But let's see what else you say. That'll be a big factor. I agree with you. Yeah, the one-year contract wonders. That is part of being creative when you have several people taking up large cap hits on the roster, right? You have to sometimes be a little creative, maybe bet on players that you think could thrive more in your system, but are either coming off of a down year or coming off of injury, which Elijah Mitchell came off of a season-ending hamstring injury. He did not play at all in 2024. Obviously, it didn't work out with the Chiefs, right? We were all wondering what the heck is going on with Elijah Mitchell. Why ain't he playing? We don't know. But you do sometimes have to be a little creative, and you got to balance it, right? You've got the guys that are paid more. They got to make the plays. You're going to have the guys that are paid to the middle tier contracts. Then you've got your draft picks or the vet min deal guys. or the Vetmin deal, guys. You've been a member at RGR for almost 5 years. Woo! Let's go. Ruben Bain will be a game wrecker, I'm telling y'all. Yeah, I saw Ruben Bain Jr. go in a recent mock draft to like pick 3. So it's like he could be available at 9, but he might not be. So that's why I'm intrigued to see how it kind of all plays out. If Ruben Bain Jr. is there at 9, take him. I think you take him. Yep, Mahomes is walking without crutches, but that's like to be expected. I think his surgery was, 6 weeks ago? You should be able to walk on without crutches. It's more, I'm talking about down the road here. Can he get to where he needs to be by week 1 to play professional football? Not to walk around, which I think that means he's progressing nicely, so I don't want to downplay Mahomes walking around. But that's a pretty normal milestone to be able to walk within 4 to 6 months or 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks of an ACL repair. It's more like, can you cut? Sprinting side to side, spin move. Are you ready for contact? All that stuff, right? This 6 weeks, bro. This offseason is going to be so long. Agreed. It is going to be long. But yeah, the running back room, agree with you, Dub Freak. Gotta upgrade it. Need youth on the D-line secondary. Yeah, and what's crazy is with the D-line, they've really tried. Youthful. Omar Norman-Lott, Ashton Gelati, Felix Anudike Uzama, George Karlaftis. I mean, Mike Dano was signed to like a team-friendly deal, but just had a really bad year last year. Omenihu, you're betting on a 1-year deal with incentives saying, hey, you're another year removed from the ACL. Come and ball out. And he struggled too. So they're trying to do things and be creative, but it doesn't always work and it doesn't always pan out. Derek Thomas is the reason you're a Chiefs fan. Love it. Look at this. I got this for Christmas from Sean. You guys see that? Derek Thomas rookie card. This is so cool, dude. I'm not like a huge card guy, but he sent me this one. I was like, that is sick. Oh, and that goes right into Colton's $2 super chat. And then Jen, I'll get back to your 10, but this goes right into it. Who's your favorite all-time Chief and why? I mean, Jamal Charles has got to be up there. Derek Thomas for me, and I think the reason why is just my dad is a big reason why I'm a Chiefs fan. I mean, his parents were fans of the Chiefs, but I was born in 91 and basically thrown into a Chiefs jersey. And some of my fondest memories of being a Chiefs fan is growing up every Sunday watching together as a family, and my dad's favorite player was Derek Thomas. He threw us in Derek Thomas jerseys. We would always cheer him on. So I think aside from Derek Thomas just literally being one of the best players to play the game at his position, I think it just brings me fond memories because of my childhood and being with my family. So that's probably why, but Jamal Charles has to be up there. In fact, I feel like we should get a Jamal Charles jersey for the jersey wall. I know we're missing Mahomes on the jersey wall, but I do have him over here. He's protected in a case over there. I should probably get Mahomes and Jamal Charles to put on the jersey wall, I think. Those would be pretty worthy additions. All right, Jennifer with the 10 said, HBTC's first members-only live stream Q&A was September 28th, 2022. It has 36 likes. That's awesome. So 2023, 2024, 2025. Man, time flies. Tony Gonzalez, that's a good one. You want me to talk about how Josh Simmons played last year? He played really well. Yeah, he was one of your best rookie tackles. And at one point in time, he was one of the best tackles in the NFL. Now, some of the stuff got skewed because he went away for a bit for personal reasons, came back, was still looking good, and then he got hurt. So incomplete sample size, kind of broken up, right? But I do think that is your franchise left tackle of the future. Josh Simmons, huge bright spot. I think Kingsley was a bright spot too. I have seen comments saying, hey, Kingsley Suamataia wasn't like some elite guard. Joe Thuney was still better. And I agree with you. But I am happy with the progress Kingsley Suamataia made his first year as a guard. On the interior, I think he did a pretty good job. He wasn't elite, but he was good. Sometimes average, sometimes showed really positive flashes, like even more than just being good. Really excelled in the run game. And I think he's just going to only be able to build upon that. So Josh Simmons, Kingsley, yeah, they just couldn't keep Tooney, man. But I'm happy for Tooney getting the Protector of the Year award and all that. You just can't keep it. You can't keep everybody. You can't pay everybody. Obviously, Creed's the best center in football. Trey Smith, some people don't like the contract. You did have to pay a little bit of tax to keep him, right? But you're betting on the youth and the longevity of having Trey Smith around. He was 26, Tooney was 32 or 33. And you're betting also on the salary cap rising every year, too. Any update on Worthy's recovery? No, but I think no news is probably good news. Meaning there's so many shoulders that get repaired. Their labrums get repaired. I've had 2 shoulder surgeries, 2 labrum repairs myself. And you should be out of the immobilizer in 6 weeks. So it's February 10th, maybe 4 weeks. Like, I'm just trying to think, if he had surgery about a month ago, he's probably about out of the immobilizer and starting to get range of motion back. And now it's about strength building, and he'll be ready. But no, I have not heard a single actual update on Worthy other than surgery was a success. But I think at this point, no news is good news on that front. Logo thoughts? Yeah, we were talking about it. I mean, I guess it's fine. I don't know. Where is Super Bowl 61? Where's that? Anybody know off the top? Where is Super Bowl 61 going to be? Because I think they know. SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. Oh, I'm an idiot. It literally shows the stadium right here. Wow. I need to take a lap. All right, Cole. Next time, just use your eyeballs, you blind bat. I don't know. I think it's fine. What do you guys think of it? Do you hate it? I'm dumb, dude. My bad. All right, Brenda with the 41 months. Thank you so much with the red beard tier. 41 months. I want to see that. Don't hurry Patrick Mahomes back, though. So this year is still up in the air. Okay, fair enough on that. Next year, Chiefs will for sure be in the hunt for the Super Bowl. Love that DT card. So cool. Youth is the way of the future. Yeah, obviously there is a lot of early success in the season that'll snowball and compound and later down the road for 2026 on, is Mahomes ready week 1? But yeah, I think most Chiefs fans are like, okay, hey, look, he's not going anywhere for a long time talking about Mahomes, so don't rush him out there if he's not ready, which the reality is they're not gonna. If he's not cleared by the doctors because he's not right, he's not gonna play. Now, Mahomes is kind of a lunatic, so he's going to want to be out there really, really bad. He's going to do all that he can to be ready week 1, but they're not going to prematurely let this man go out there at the risk of re-injuring that knee if it's not ready. You like the detail on the logo? Yeah, I think it looks cool, I guess. I mean, what happens if I hit this button? Does it hide the chat so you can see the logo bigger? Where's my mouse? Okay, there we go. Oh, nice. There we go. Yeah, I think it's cool, I guess. You want a solid backup QB like who? Proctologist? I mean, we've talked about it several times. I think you need one. But I don't think they're going to pay Mariota money. That's maybe. What about Jimmy G? You like Jimmy Garoppolo, Russell Wilson? I don't know. Like, those are kind of scary. But who are you going to pay? What are you going to do? Like Malik Willis, people say that name, or Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston's under contract with the Giants. Malik Willis is getting $20 million a year probably on a 2-year deal with somebody. Like somebody that needs a bridge QB, they're paying him a lot of money. There it is. That's enough Eagles versus Chiefs. Even though the Chiefs lost in 59, I just want to see something different. Well, you just don't want him to lose again. No, I would like to see something different. Sure, part of me is like, yeah, let's go. Part 3, get the revenge game out of the way and move on, but I would want to see something different probably. Yeah, exactly. Connor said the same thing. I want to see a different Super Bowl matchup. I'm right there with you. You like the ocean wave in it? That's cool. Yeah. Buck Buchanan said Jamie was my first favorite, then Lenny, then Otis Taylor, Willie, Bobby, Johnny, Curly, Jan, Delaney. Rooted for all of them. Heck yeah. Joe Delaney. The legend, man. Gone way too soon. Why do you think Cole, who do you think is a backup that would be closest to Mahomes' skill set and fits in the offense? So scrambling, throw on the run, RPO, reads, etc., etc. Marcus Mariota, to me. Look at, it's not the same. It's air raid, not West Coast. But look at the Commanders. I think Mariota would be a really good fit for the Chiefs offense. Do you guys agree with that? Let me know. But, I mean, he's mobile. He can move. I think he would mesh well in Andy Reid's system, and he's a proven guy that shows he can go out there and win some games. Jimmy G had some decent years. Wilson obviously did, but he makes me nervous. If I had to pick between Jimmy Garoppolo and Russell Wilson right now, gun to the head, I'm going Jimmy G. I just don't know after seeing what Russell Wilson looked like last year that I can accept that one. I just don't know. Let us face an NFC South opponent. Then we'll have beaten someone from each NFC division. You're talking in the Super Bowl? That'd be kind of fun. Mariota would be good. That's very interesting. I think he would be a great fit. Yeah, the problem is Marcus Mariota is going to be one of the higher sought-after quarterbacks in free agency, and he was just paid $8 million by the Commanders. Meanwhile, the Chiefs average only $3 million or less for their backup quarterbacks. But again, I still think this is a exception. This offseason, this year should be an exception. And I think it's tough because I see it. I see both sides. Cole, what if they waste all that money on a higher profile QB2 and Mahomes is ready week 1 and Mariota sits? Well, you can look at it two ways. Very good quality insurance, i.e. Jalen Moore, like a very quality backup swing tackle. You never know. Mahomes could miss some games. Not because he re-injures his knee. It could be something different. He could have a concussion and have to miss a couple. Or God forbid something bad does happen at the end of the season. Somebody like Marcus Mariota could legit, I don't know how deep of a playoff run you could make, but he would be a guy that you're like, hey, I think they could win some games with him. But again, I would prefer Mahomes just to be healthy, get healthy, play the whole season, and have no issues, right? I mean, that's the best case scenario. Mariota's not going to want to sit. Well, he was a backup in Washington, and he just happened to play a lot because, well, who are you talking about? I'm assuming you're talking about Mariota. But Jaden Daniels was hurt for a lot of the season. Mariota's been a backup for years now. He got to go again. Remember during the quarterback documentary, I think he got another go as a starter, but it didn't work. Yeah, Jameis Winston would be a solid backup QB, but he's under contract with the Giants for one more year. Cooper Rush as a backup QB? Yeah, no. I think we're okay. Yeah, it's insurance. For sure. How would y'all feel? Cooper Rush. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know that I've seen enough from him personally. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend I watched a bunch of his games. Cole, you think the Chiefs should address the salary cap situation? They definitely will. You have to get under. Jawan Taylor saves 20. You can move on from Mike Dana. Saves you maybe 9. And then Drew Tranquil, 6 more. Restructure Mahomes, save 20 to 25, up to 30 more. You can get that fixed. Every fan base needs to yell incomplete when playing the Donkeys and they throw an incompletion. Donkey fans do it at Mile High and it's obnoxious. Every time there's an incomplete, they yell that. We need to get Kenneth Walker. Sounds good to me. I do think there is a chance that Kenneth Walker is franchise tagged by the Seahawks, or they work out a deal with him before he even hits free agency. You won the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. It's a very good team. You have a lot of cap space. You can bring a lot of people back. And a good pitch for Kenneth Walker would be, let's run it back and do it again, man. We believe we can do it. And that might be tempting enough. Did Mariota originally lose his job to Tannehill? I mean, possibly. I don't remember that story. But he was with the Titans until 2019. Oh, man. Marcus Mariota. I was at the playoff game where he caught his own pass, and they beat the Chiefs. Man, I kind of forgot he was with the Raiders for 2 years, but he was a backup, barely played. Well, he played. No, he barely played at all. But then he got, I think that it was 2022, he got the Falcons starting job. Then he was with the Eagles as a backup. Yeah, I mean, he's really been a backup primarily outside of 2022 since 2020. Colton said, I don't see the Chiefs paying top dollar for a running back, Cole. I see a silver tier running back and addressing late in draft using top 10 pick for safety concern if Watson walks after signing McDuffie. Top 10 pick for safety concern? So like Caleb Downs, maybe? Let me see this running back. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think the direction the Chiefs will go is probably not one of the top-end running backs like Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, maybe ETN, but I don't know what his price is going to be. It's funny when you look at market value. Like Isaiah Pacheco's market value is $4 million. Well, I don't think so. Javonte Williams, ETN, Rico Dowdle, Kenneth Gainwell. Outside of that, like I don't really know. You're going to have to spend a little bit of money. I'm just going down the list and there's nobody that's really popping. Like, yeah, you've got the top three, but after that, it's like, you got to get one of these mid-tier guys. You say silver tier. I like that verbiage better. Sounds a bit more respectful. Les won with the 5 months. Someone gifted me this, so I'm glad, and I appreciate it. Unk, I have a high chance that we're going to win despite toughness of AFC West. Anyway, Garrett Bale. Bale. Final answer. She gives me random, I think, soccer player names that I have to guess. It can't just be as simple as Bale, can it? Chief with the 5 said, this is another Veach prove you are a top-tier GM type of offseason, and I'm excited, to be honest. Yeah, very important offseason. And I think I said in recent weeks, like, it is kind of an exciting time to be a Chiefs fan because they got punched in the mouth in a knockdown, drag-out fight. Like, think of a boxing match. They'd won the last few boxing matches pretty convincingly. Well, not this past year. I mean, in the Super Bowl, they got KO'd, right? 2 years ago. But last year, 6-11, you got your jaw cracked. You got Jake Paul. I mean, that's what happened. You got your bone broke. Your bone's broke in multiple places. Your jaw needs wire shut. There's a lot going on there. But yeah, Brett Veach has a pretty important offseason. There's really no doubt about it. Yep, running back that's also a good pass catcher for sure. I mean, in the Chiefs offense, it's being able to do multiple things at a high level. I saw another comment today. It doesn't matter who the Chiefs bring in because Andy Reid's not going to use the running back. It's not maybe in the traditional sense of the running backs getting 25, 30 carries a game, but you do need a running back that can do a few different things in this offense and take advantage first and foremost of the light boxes that the Chiefs are getting. Nobody got more light boxes than the Kansas City Chiefs in 2025. But guess what? In spite of that, nobody had the opposite. They got the most light boxes in the NFL, but then they had the least amount of explosive runs and the least amount of missed tackles forced on early downs. The only reason why they had missed tackles forced on 3rd and 4th down sometimes is because of Kareem Hunt, the short yardage maniac. So yeah, you've got to get a guy that can do some stuff in the receiving game. You also need to know, we just have to remember, for what it's worth, they've got Brashard Smith under contract next year. Maybe he could, I hope he eventually can turn into your 3rd down back, but I don't know if that's going to be next year or not. That might be too early. I'm just looking at these names over here. I mean, Travis Etienne would actually be a lot of fun. Like, let me double check. Like, his stats in 2025. I mean, he had 36 receptions for 300 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. But then on the ground, 260 carries for 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns. His second year in the NFL, 2023, talking about Travis Etienne, 58 receptions for 476 yards. So he can be used for both. There you go. JL and ETN, I love that. I love that two-headed monster. Now, when you say JL, are you talking Jeremiah Love? I have a feeling if they got somebody in free agency like a Travis Etienne, they're paying more money than you've seen in a long time for a running back. I just don't know that you're going with Jeremiah Love as well in that first round. I truly think you're addressing a different position of need there. Yeah, Connor said, I definitely think we can't have Mahomes running for 50-plus yards a game every game. Yeah, cannot do it. Cannot do it at all. I saw a funny tweet from somebody saying last week, what do you mean when you say Mahomes has done more with less? He had the least amount of passing yards per game, or the second least amount of passing yards per game in 2025 compared to all years prior. And it's like, I don't even know if that's true because I didn't look it up. But he also had more rushing yards and rushing touchdowns in 2025 than years prior, and he didn't even finish out the season. No running back room. He had to do it for him. Okay? So, come on now. Yeah, Travis Kelce return definitely possible. Personally, I'm getting more excited seeing Eric Bieniemy back. The guys are hype for his return, and think about the last time Mahomes went off and had an MVP year. It was Eric Bieniemy's last season here. Yeah, 2022 year, which I talked about earlier. It was their first year without Tyreek Hill. I think you got some good usage out of MVS maybe that year too. Did they have MVS in 2022? You definitely had Juju. You had Prime Kelce. Yeah, that was MVS's first year, and he had almost 700 yards. 46 or 42 receptions for almost 700 yards, a couple touchdowns. So he had pretty good usage from MVS. Juju was great. Travis Kelce still in his prime, and then you had Jerick McKinnon as well. If we can get a good running back in free agency and a good running back in the draft, a two-headed monster will be crazy. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, maybe if they got somebody like ETN in free agency, I don't know that they would get Jeremiah Love 9th overall, but maybe they would get another running back somewhere in the draft. Can't count it out. J.K. Dobbin got spaghetti legs and jelly knees. No dice. Did somebody say him? Yeah, he's had a lot of injuries, man. It does make me nervous, but he is a free agent. Do we keep Juju? Maybe dry bones. He's your best blocking wide receiver that you have, but it kind of was a tell. If Juju was out there, you knew he probably wasn't running some extravagant route and being a big threat in the receiving game. It's possible, though. Cole, we obviously have to draft at least one running back somewhere, unless we sign like 2 to 3 in free agency, which seems crazy. I feel like I've been saying every year, I think the Chiefs are going to draft a running back this year. And they just didn't. Now they did Brashard Smith in the 7th round. So if we don't get Love, have you seen any other running back prospects? I haven't really looked too much into running back prospects yet, but I will. Because you can't rule out the Chiefs taking a running back in the draft even if they don't get Jeremiah Love. That's even if they address it in some capacity in free agency, unless it's like you get ETN on a 3-year deal or something. Maybe not. But if you can get a quality running back on a rookie deal, I think it's very important. You need to get Chris Jones help on the D-line, 100%. And that's why it's so tough and why I don't envy Veach's job, because there's holes to fill all over the roster. Chris Jones needs help, a lot of it. Chiefs would go 15-2 next year if they re-sign Sky Moore. Okay, I did not know where that comment was going. That was crazy. We need a defensive tackle more than a running back. I mean, I think they need both pretty bad. At least in the defensive tackle room, you have Chris Jones, probably top 3 defensive tackle in the NFL. Who do you have in the running back room? Brashard Smith? So I'd probably make the argument you might need running back more, but I don't think you don't need to argue about it. They need to upgrade running back like pretty bad, and they need to upgrade interior D-line pretty bad. Turk Wharton was missed. Omar Normanlot's coming off the ACL. You won't have Tillery. I don't know that you'll have Pennell. You won't have Noddy. Like, you definitely need to upgrade that room. So I'm not debating it with you because I agree. I just think they both need to be addressed, personally. Cole, do you like Eric Bruna? I don't know who that is. Is that a real name? Or do you mean Eric Bieniemy? You must mean Eric Bieniemy. Yeah. I don't dislike Eric Bieniemy. Why Sky Moore? It was a joke. It was just a joke. The question, do you like Eric Bieniemy as the OC, or would you like to see somebody else at that spot? Well, the reality is that's not changing. So, yeah, would I have liked them to interview more guys and consider maybe somebody from outside the tree, Andy Reid's tree? Yeah, but they brought him back. He's got a lot of experience as a running backs coach. You got an experienced wide receivers coach now too. You have way more experience already on the offensive side of the coaching staff than you did last year with just those 2 guys. People overemphasize cap value when they're drafting. Running back value is going up. Yeah, you can see it in the league how defenses are giving lighter boxes and more shell. No, hey man, if they take Jeremiah Love at 9, I'm totally fine with it. Totally fine with it. Yes, sir. Will you hire me if AI takes over your job? What do you do? Let me know what you do. Hank with the 29 months. What's up, Cole? Hope all is well. Thank you, brother. Keep up the great work. Let's freaking go. This offseason will be interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, Hank, I hope you're doing fantastic, brother. Thanks for the 29 months. Les1, thanks again for the 2. Brand with the 40 months in the house. You got to change your name back to Brand. How do you get your @ to be Brand? Brand the man. I think I'm in the boat of getting a B-tier running back in free agency, then still drafting one maybe later rounds, round 5, double dip, D tackle for round 1, probably mostly defense in this draft, my 2 cents. So the Chiefs have, let me look this up. The Chiefs have, where can I find it? Kansas City draft picks. They have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, 2 5s, a 6. No, that's it. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and 2 5s. The 2nd, 5th round is a comp pick. Compensatory. Hey, can you get off? Thank you. Okay. So with that in mind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got to go D-line, quite possibly 2, right there. I'm not saying the first 2, but you've got to get at least 2 D-line, I would think. Let's say you get D-line and running back in the draft. That only leaves 3 more position groups. What are you getting? Now, we don't know, right? But what other positions would you like to see the Chiefs draft with very limited draft capital? Where would you go with that? My ads are so funny. There was like a microphone ad up here. Been looking at podcast stuff. We should trade back so we can get more picks. Do you agree with this, Cole? I mean, it's definitely a possibility, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they did that. Kind of crazy. They traded away their 6th round pick for Joshua Uche. They didn't even use him. They traded the 7th for Peyton Hendershot. They didn't use him either. What the heck, man? That's insane. Every year before this, we've said Mahomes needs more weapons. What changed? Defense last year wasn't why we lost. Well, the D-line was bad, and they couldn't get off the field on 3rd downs. There was multiple situations where the Chiefs were up late in the game, and the defense couldn't budge. I think you need both. but you definitely need D-line help, like pretty badly. And then if Brian Cook walks in free agency, the safety room is pretty suspect. Leo Chanel is a free agent, but I think you definitely need D-line, and you can make a case for more wide receiver help too. I've been in the camp of saying, hey, I don't know that Rice is your 1. I think he's a 2. I think Worthy's a 3. I think you need a true playmaker at the position. I don't know that you're getting that in free agency, which is why it's like, well, maybe it's Carnell Tate. I know some people like Mekhi Lemon. There's a couple of options there. It's really tough to know what direction the Chiefs are going to end up going there. Not Leo in the sense of don't let Leo walk or bring him back. Edge, defensive tackle, safety, wide receiver, cornerback, running back. Yeah, corner is kind of a sneaky need because you're losing a lot of depth piece guys, but you do have Noel Williams. You do have Christian Fulton on the last year of his 2-year deal, and then, in theory, Trent McDuffie. Crab Rangoons? Wait, what are we talking about? He's going to have to because he needs to keep giving the defenses something to target besides a quarterback coming off of ACL. Yeah, that might, you know what? Mahomes coming off the ACL might actually push the Chiefs to be more aggressive for a running back than they typically would. And they need a running back anyway. That's beyond evident. But with Mahomes coming off the ACL, maybe it does push them to be a little bit more aggressive for a running back and maybe a QB2. Your beard is legendary? Well, thank you. Appreciate the kind words. I'd be down to trade back maybe 3 to 4 spots and get maybe another 3 or 4 picks, or another 3rd or a 4th plus a 6th or a 7. You still get a quality player who can make a difference and have a more rounded draft. It's definitely a possibility, man, because the Chiefs have a lot of needs. Yeah. It would have to be right. So it's a combo. It's either the player you really wanted at 9 is gone, the second player you really wanted at 9 is gone, and maybe even the third player. Then you're like, okay, let's move back. We'll still get a quality guy before pick 15 and have another couple more picks in this draft. It's a real possibility. Somebody said, love the helmet. Thank you. The Iron Man helmet. Yeah. Appreciate that. McDuffie for another 1st and a 2nd and get his replacement 2nd round. It is a very risky thing to try to get your next starting corner round 2, but sure, can't rule it out. I think if you trade away McDuffie, you just got to bring back Jalen Watson. Now, is that going to be possible? I don't know. And that doesn't mean, like, you could still draft a corner early, potentially. But I would be pretty nervous to bank on replacing McDuffie in some, like, even in a 70% capacity with the 2nd round pick. Remember, they traded up to get McDuffie because they couldn't believe he was still there. They had a true round 1 grade on him, and they're like, why is he still there? Let's go get him. This is insane. Not letting Leo walk. Put the helmet on. I can't. It won't fit my head, man. It's sad. Sad story. Find it frustrating to bring someone in for 1 year because they have to learn our complicated playbook, which I guess isn't so complicated anymore since our opponents know our plays. Yeah, the 1 year deal thing, like, it's just part of football. You're going to have guys on multi-years. You're going to have really high paid guys, but you're also going to have guys on 1 year mercenary deals. It's either a guy on a prove-it year, a guy coming off of injury, or an aging veteran. Can we get A.J. Brown? No. I don't think so. You got to give up draft capital for him and take on the contract. And his contract is pretty insane. Now, is A.J. Brown getting traded? Quite possibly. Quite possibly is. Well, I appreciate you guys. We've been live for an hour and a half. I did give blood this morning. Double reds. So I'm just like kind of zapped. So I'm going to get off here and get ready to go to bed. But man, I appreciate the heck out of you guys. The Super Bowl was a lot of fun. I know the Chiefs weren't in it, but really appreciated a lot of you hanging out. As always, appreciate you guys in the Tuesday night Q&A. We'll have a video coming out tomorrow. I think Thursday is Seth interview, or was that last week? It might have been last week, but we will be back Wednesday and Friday for sure with some content. And we've got Cold Breaks the Huddle. We've got another channel coming, maybe making some Vikings content. It won't be me. Don't worry. Might be Troy instead, but we've got some stuff coming up down the pipeline, maybe even an HBTC podcast with exclusive interviews and stuff like that. I have some exciting plans for this year, and we're trying to get it all going in the off season before it gets crazy. But appreciate y'all. Thanks to the mods for holding it down. Thanks for everybody. Super chats, dono bombs, just the questions. Like the fact that I am just in here and you guys are listening to me talk about Chiefs football for an hour and a half means a lot. I don't even know how many people are in chat, but I just appreciate it. And it's going to be a long off season, but we'll be here every step of the way keeping you updated. So thanks again, guys. And until next time, let's go. More Seth. We'll bring him back. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?